James Twin for the untouchable True School Sports. Let's go, baby. Bow!
Be careful what you wish for because it can become a reality.
Yeah. The untouchable True School Sports Empire proudly presents something the boxing games were missing. Hey, what's going on? It's your boy BT, and I came here to talk some boxing with the thousands of True School Sports subscribers. All right, so I wanted to come and sound off on this because I know that Teofimo Lopez is gonna fight Subriel Matias. That's what the reports are saying. That they're saying the date's March 15th. So if it does happen, it's a good fight, a really entertaining matchup. I'm not complaining about it, but I'd be remiss if I didn't talk about this. And I got to be fair, because when Brian Norman Jr. Didn't accept the fight with Jaron Ennis, a lot of people, myself included, said that he ducked Jaron Ennis, and I think he did. But at the same time, Teofimo Lopez, it's been reported that he's been made offers to fight Brian Norman Jr. and he ain't exactly like jumped up to take the damn fight himself. So, that could be called a duck. And Teo was going back and forth with Brian Norman Jr. on Twitter recently, across the street. He was going back and forth with Brian Norman on Twitter recently, and he basically had stated that that he didn't fight Boots because he was too, quote unquote, pussy to take the fight. That's what he said. Those aren't my words, those are his words. And he said that, when he fought Lomachenko, he believed in himself enough that he took the fight and he only left that fight with $500,000, which really for a Lomachenko fight, that's peanuts. That's peanuts upon peanuts. That's little money for a fight like that. Right? And then Brian Norman, I'm paraphrasing what they said, so you guys saw in the beginning of the video what was said. Brian Norman said, "You're just mad." He said, "And look at you now. You got to talk all this shit to generate some interest to make some money, and you're mad because us black fighters are making more money than you are." That's what he said. And then he said, "Why don't you come and try to take the belt off me?" So essentially, Brian Norman Jr. has called out Teofimo Lopez, and this happened before the Matias fight was talked about or announced or anything like that. So make of that what you will. But I still think, like, regardless of what happens in the Matias fight, if they do fight, I think this is a fight that has to happen for a couple of reasons. I think Teofimo Lopez versus Brian Norman Jr. is one of them fights that has to happen. So for one, they're both with Top Rank, so it's not going to be a hard fight to make when you talk about the politics and who they're aligned with. There's no red tape, there's no yellow tape, there's nothing preventing that fight. So that always helps, and that bodes well for negotiations, right? That's number one. Number two, Teofimo Lopez has talked extensively about wanting to become a welterweight champion and becoming a 3-division champion by a certain age, because he feels it's gonna add more to his already great resume in boxing, which is true. And Brian Norman is a legitimate welterweight champion. He's a dangerous fight for a guy coming up from 140 to fight him. That's not a cakewalk. Brian Norman's really punching like that. Brian Norman's a very explosive fighter, very athletic, and definitely an entertaining fighter, So there's that. Three, if we're just being honest here about the whole spectrum of all this, Teofimo Lopez has had a lot of very questionable comments about black people. So he said he's beaten some white boys and Josh Taylor and Lomachenko, and now he wants to fight a black one. So last time I checked, Brian Norman Jr. and my Caleb Plant voice. Last time I checked, Last time I checked, Brian Norman Jr. He's about as black as the ace of spades. So hey, if you said you wanted to fight a black fighter, there you go. There you have one. And then four, on the other side, Brian Norman Jr. He's looking to build his name and build his self in the sport. And I think a Teofimo Lopez fight would definitely help build the Brian Norman Jr. name and profile. I think that it would do a lot of good for him. And it benefit. It's a very winnable fight because Teofimo Lopez is a smaller guy coming up. His punching power at 140 wasn't the same as it was at 135, so I don't think he'll be the same at 147. So it's a very winnable fight. So it checks out in so many different ways. And again, I'm not gonna really turn up the heat on talking about this too much, but just for documentation purposes, if Teofimo Lopez gets past Matias, I think this is a fight. By the way, shout out to Moe's Burger, my favorite burger fast food chain in the world, anywhere, USA and Japan. Moe's Burger sponsor True School, but yeah. I think it's a fight that makes sense. And you can't talk the way Teo's talked about being a welterweight, you know, the comments he's made about black people, and be with Top Rank, and then not, you know, explore this as a potential fight, you know, later on in 2025. So I'm not saying it's got to be any time in the next 6 months because supposedly he has Matias, but I would like to say like maybe like in the latter part of 2025, if he wants to go to welterweight, this is his path. The way I see it is the Brian Norman, the Teofimo Lopez path to welterweight greatness and legacy. It begins and really and truthfully it ends with Brian Norman Jr. because as much as the Boots fight was a thing, and I do think he wanted to fight Boots. I do think Tia wanted to fight Boots the same way I thought Tia wanted to fight Crawford. But I don't think that Jaron Ennis has his proverbial house in order. So I just don't think, no matter how much Tia wants it, I just think incompetence from Team Ennis is going to always stop that fight from happening one way or the other. But let me know what you guys think. What do you guys think about like T.O., Brian Norman Jr., Brian Norman Jr. calling him out? Listen, I'm looking forward to Brian Norman Jr. having a good year in 2025. He's got a good little fight against Derek Cuevas. You know, I'm putting him on a mild upset alert, but he should beat Cuevas. He's too big, too strong, and too athletic for him. But it's a good little fight, and if he wins it, you know, I'm hoping for a breakout year from Norman because even though I had to like, you know, say some things about Norman when the boot stuff didn't go down, I like Brian Norman Jr. I like his personality. I like how he fights. I really enjoyed the Giovanni Santillan fight earlier this year. It was one of the most electrifying performances of 2024. So I'm looking forward to a massive, hopefully a major 2025 from Brian Norman Jr. You know, fights against Boots, fights against T.O., fights against Stanionis, fights against anybody that's gonna, you know, really move his career forward. You know, Jin Sasaki, I think, is one of the best fights in boxing from a style standpoint, excitement standpoint. So yeah, it's a lot of on the table for Brian Norman in 2025, and Teofimo Lopez could be one of those options. But let me know what you guys think. What do you guys think about that potential matchup, Teofimo Lopez, Brian Norman Jr.? Leave your comments down below. Make sure you guys take the time to subscribe. Like I say in every single one of these videos, you can love me or you can hate me, but I'm just a kid from Daniel. So until next time, take care, guys. Thank you for watching another video on the untouchable True School Sports Empire. For more great boxing content just like this, make sure you guys click right over here.
Keep watching my boy BT put on the best interviews out here.